Hello, Malik Currington here, Family Budget Fisherman. Thank you for tuning in to this another special episode on this channel. Yes, you read it in the thumbnail and in the description below. I'm going to be talking to you about why you should be purchasing more of these genuine Zman jackhammers and maybe holding back on these EVOs. Let's get started. Thank you once again. Thank you for tuning in. As you can see here, I got 20 jackhammers in my hand here, okay? I've explained to you how I bought them, and I didn't pay full price. Here in my store here in California, Dick's Sporting Goods was selling them for $20 a piece, $19.99. There are stores that sell them for $17.99. You can get them online for as little as $14.99 before any discounts or sales or anything like that. But that's what it costs here. And then these were, I think, $10 or $12 a piece here in where I go and make my purchases. But what I want to do is to share with you why I think you should continue making these purchases and not so much on these purchases. And there's several reasons why. Let's start off with the fact that with the EVO, there is no technological reason why this bait was created. None whatsoever. The only reason why this bait was created, based upon what has been advertised, based on what's been advertised, is the fact that it is a less expensive version of the technology that makes the jackhammer. Now, of all the things that they could have done for this bait, why that? You know, is the market saturated where those of us who buy jackhammers are no longer buying jackhammers and the sales are going down, and so we're getting some sort of a discounted replacement product? Or is the number of people who are not buying jackhammers growing to such a degree that there's a competition for that smaller market of the most expensive blades? Now, that may be the case. So, for example, you have the Picasso shock blade. Most of us have seen that. This is the Aaron Martin's endorsed product. Rest his soul. Then you have a newer one called the Slobber Knocker by Berkley. Okay, and we all know this. Berkley has a big market, and when they make something, whether we agree with how they come across these products or not, when they make a product, it does have an impact in the industry, bigger than most others. Strike King did something really interesting. They actually licensed the jackhammer technology when they made the Thunder Cricket. So this is more like the jackhammer than the EVO is, in my opinion, more authentically like it. And it is often sold for at or less or a cheaper price. Okay. Then, of course, you have the other. I forgot. There is a newer bait out there made by First Gen. This is their foray into the chatterbait space. It's a very, very beautiful bait there. This is their chatterbait there. And this also competently competes with the jackhammer. As a matter of fact, they already have a double-digit fish caught on this bait here. And they're a new company by comparison to these other companies that are out. So here's some other innovations that Z-Man made. Now, one I don't have. They had the big blade, which is very similar to this this weedless style chatterbait, which is pretty interesting. This is called the Cross-Eye snag resistant bladed jig, and as you can see, it has the two little weed guards there, which I thought was, oh, that's okay, that's interesting. And then Z-Man had already had something called the Weedless Project. I don't know if many of you saw that. The Weedless Project, which is another weedless. It has the weed guard similar to a traditional bass jig. It's like they took a traditional bass jig and just put a blade on it, which basically what chatterbaits tend to be. Then you had, of course, the original, and everything started with the original and then grew from there. And then there was even a reason for the Mini Max, because you wanted a more compact bait that maybe had the same weight, same displacement of water, or maybe a little bit smaller displacement of water, but it was a mini version of it. So the Mini Max. So these have unique technologies, even within Z-Man's own lineup. Significant had specific technologies that when you take a look at the EVO and compare it to the Jackhammer, you don't see anything different. There might be some things that Jackhammer has that they took away, and the question becomes, how is it that I can make a Jackhammer called an EVO and take away enough of the luster, the beautiful stuff off of the Jackhammer, and make a product that I can now price at a cheaper at a cheaper price, and then say, well, it's very similar to the Jackhammer. Come on, really? Now, as you can see, I got a lot of Z-Man products. I think they're an awesome, awesome company, and they have an awesome pro staff, incredible pro staff. Shout out to B-Lad. But I'm just saying, I don't think that it is necessary, particularly when you watch this show, when I show you how to buy this Jackhammer, not for $19, not for $14, not for $12. However, I am now getting these as cheap as $7 a pop, $7 per item. Now, as you know, I've said it in my previous video and in videos in the past, you know, if you exercise time, patience, and information, okay, you can get this stuff. So I recommend that you, instead of doing this at an impulse buy, plan to make this purchase right here. Or at the very least, if you want to impulse buy here, if you're just going to do it. But I recommend that you get as many of these as possible, whether they be the metal blades, or I think I got some blades in here that are not metal. Here's one, a stealth blade. This is the stealth blade model here. There's no reason, if you know how to purchase equipment, that you have to do it. You can buy this with a plan, timing and everything else, at a cheaper price point than you get this at full retail price. Now, of course, that also translates, yes, you can get EVOs. Let me say it this way. If all I can find are EVOs, or if I'm in a pinch where, you know, I need a Chatterbait really bad and the EVO is the one that's there, buy that EVO. I'm saying, if you're going to buy that EVO, the only argument I'm making with this video is, if you're going to buy an EVO in place of a Jackhammer, don't do it. If there's any other reason why you want to buy an EVO, buy an EVO. You know, I would buy an EVO over the original. My argument would be, the original Chatterbait was great, but now there's an improvement on the original Chatterbait. It's the EVO. If it was sold this way, oh yeah, you would buy these, because there is a distinction between the original and the EVO. However, there is not a buyable. Yes, I can be a malaprops, you know, make my own words. There is no reason to purchase this bait. To purchase this bait over this bait. This is top of the line. Bottom line, it's top of the line. And I recommend that you make those choices accordingly. The sales are going to be jumping off beginning already. Well, they already have started, but the deeper ones are going to start happening around the first week of next week. And I recommend that you start planning the purchases so that you don't run afoul of, you know, breaking your family's budget. Okay. So I close with this. Don't let the opportunity to buy any of this equipment break your family's budget, but by every ethical and legal means, particularly because spring's coming. Get out there and break your personal best. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Be blessed.